Does the US General 34-inch 6-drawer cart meet the needs for your shop? There's a good chance it does. Let's find out. Well, a week or so ago, we released our new gift guide for 2022 for this Christmas, and we included the US General 6-drawer service cart because we've heard so many raves about it. So we went in the store, checked it out, and really fell in love with this thing, but thought, you know what, we need to get this in the shop and actually check it out. So, all fairness, Harbor Freight did send us this 34-inch cart. Actually, we went and picked it up from our store. But anyway, they did provide the cart for us. And again, our intention was just to include it in the gift guide. But once we started looking this over, and again, we've heard from you guys and gals that this is a great service cart, especially compared to the higher priced items that are sitting out there that most typically kind of congregate to, that this is a great buy. So this is $629 normally. So we included this in our gift guide, and as we kind of went through it, did some social media posts on it, we thought, this is a really good quality cart. Let's do a full review on it. So here we are. So let's go ahead and dive in. We'll take some closer looks at this. We'll see how it's built. We'll talk about the different features on it, as well as how you can expand on this as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is the US General 6-drawer 34-inch service cart. 34-inch meaning it's 34 inches wide. We'll go over the details as far as width and height here in a moment, but as you can see, you get basically 5 equal height drawers and 1 deep drawer on the bottom that also has dual slides on it, and we'll go over the features of that and what they'll hold here in a moment as well. And then on the top here, obviously you have a work top, but that flips up. 2 gas struts are going to raise that. And one thing I really like about it, it's sitting straight up. So it's not sitting at a tilt like other service carts that we have reviewed before. Kind of, has still a tilt, kind of a positive tilt, or would you call that a negative tilt towards you, so it doesn't go straight up. But on this case, it does go straight up. So we like that. Full-length gas struts that are going to take care of that. Now, a couple of things we noticed as soon as we kind of open up this service cart from the box are the 4 rubber corners on every corner. So not just the front 2 corners, and this is not a hard plastic. This is actually a rubber here, a thick rubber mold that's going to protect that box from hitting any corners. And again, we get it on all 4 corners of this box, not just the front side. Also has the US General logo there embossed in the corner as well. And then also noticeable were the large 5-inch industrial casters with brakes on each wheel, and all 4 corners are swivel casters. So you don't have 2 that are stationary and 2 that swivel, all 4 swivel. They also even have grease zerks right there where you can actually grease these bearings. Now that grease is kind of going to run everywhere, but you can hook up your grease gun, grease that from time to time to make sure it swivels very easily. But this 1,200-pound rated cart, great to see that we have nice 5-inch industrial casters on all 4 corners. And on this cart, we get a blacked out, very gloss black US General logo. And then we have a barrel key design. It's even numbered there, so you can order new keys if you want to. You get 3 keys with it, so put one on your key ring and hide a couple, or put one away or whatever, but you should always have that key available. But you can order new ones if you need to. Very simple, again, barrel key design. Quarter turn locks the unit, quarter turn unlocks it, and independent from that lock. So from inside the box, once the lid is open, you can lock and unlock the drawers. So you can keep them unlocked and have the top down and have the top locked, but still have the drawers unlocked, or vice versa. You can lock the drawers, close the top, and obviously lock those out of the drawer so they're not going to open. And then right here, what we have is a pass-through, which it comes with this steel block-off plate, but with a 10mm, you can remove this nut. You have to do it from the inside, so you could leave that on there if you wanted to keep anybody out from there. So once you remove that, you see we have like an electrical pass-through, so we can have our power strip in here with our chargers and power tools and run our electrical cord through here So that's nice that that knockout's already in there, as well as the rubber grommet also. And then down each side of the service cart are places for screwdrivers, and the back spaces, of course, larger holes for your pry bars. And we'll see if the long handles fit in there here in a moment. So on the right and on the left, we will have those holes in there so that we can store our longer pry bars and longer screwdrivers. You also get a very sturdy handle. It goes on with 4 screws. And by the way, this handle can go on either side of the cart. You have nutserts on either side, so you can put the handle wherever it makes sense for you. You can see here's the opposite side of the cart, and there's the 4 nutserts, so you can put that handle over there or on the opposite side. Let's get a few measurements on this cart. So we'll start with the width here. So all the way across, right at 33 inches. I don't know why they call it 34. Maybe they're including the bumpers on there, but right at 33 inches for the width. And from the front to the back of the box, you're looking at right at 21 3/4 inches. Height from the ground is going to be right at 46 inches to the base top of the cart with the lid closed. I think that adds probably a 1/4 inch or so. Yeah, so 40 inch and 3/8, 46 3/8. So right at 46, just to the top of the cart. Now that's with the caster, so the box itself is going to be right at 40. So right at 40 inches for just the box height. All right, now let's get a measurement on these drawers. As we mentioned, all of these are the same except the bottom drawer. And I'll talk about something I really like about this and something I'm not crazy about, but that it's easily fixable. And you see here it says pull latch left to open the drawer. You can't just pull this open, even if it's unlocked. There's a slide under here, and there's a bunch of little squares, and I'll show you that here in a moment. And you have to reach up under here, and you can do it anywhere, slide it over, and then it opens that drawer. Now, a lot of people love that, so I'm not counting against it. I don't care for that, but I'll show you an easy fix for it. In fact, I'll just go ahead and show it to you now. So when you open this drawer, again, you reach up under here, slide it over. There's a little plastic lock right here that locks on the side of that cabinet, and when you slide it over, that's what unlocks it. Well, to do away with that, you don't need any tools or anything. Just come down here, push that down, and slide this out. And basically, that's what's doing the locking. So, I'm not going to count anything against that. If you want it in there and you want to leave it, absolutely fine, leave it in there. But if you don't, very easy just to make that change as long as you have the access to open it up. And there's still a small detent that's going to kind of hold that. So you see it's not just going to flop out and not stay. It still stays, so there is a small detent in there. There's not a big kind of a lock that you feel, but you definitely kind of feel it fall into place. But again, you don't have this to work with, but if you do like it, slide it back in and you're still locked. All right, so let's open up the top drawer here. And width of the drawer, just short of 28 inches. In fact, let's give it internal dimensions. 27 5/8 of an inch width. And one of the cool things about this drawer is, let me get the measurement first. And so right at 19 inches, a little more than 19 inches. In fact, it kind of rolls back into here a little bit. So you really probably have 19 1/4 inches if you can get by this little lip right there. But one of the things I really like about these drawers is look how far they come out. The drawer slides don't stop short where you have to kind of dig in there to find something, or you got a big case and you can't get it out. They come almost flush. In fact, this lip does come flush with the front of this box, so you can get things out if you need to with no problem at all. You get that full length opening. And by the way, 100-pound drawer slide. So these ball bearing slides are not only going to work smoothly, they're also going to hold 100 pounds per drawer. And I believe the bottom drawer is a double slider that'll hold 200 pounds. Take a closer look at these drawer slides. Very smooth. And by the way, if you ever go to move these boxes, it makes it much easier just to remove the drawers. Makes the box a lot lighter and you don't tip it over. And all you have to do is lift this side up over here. On the opposite side, it'll be pushed down, and you can slide these off the rails and go set that drawer aside. And then to put it back in, you just line it up, slide it in, and you're good to go. Oh, and one thing we didn't do is we didn't get a drawer height. So internal height of the drawer, 3 3/4 of an inch. Looks like closer to 3 7/8 here on the front lip. So definitely at least 3 3/4 inches of clearance in the box. Really probably almost 4 inches of clearance to the top of this, and there's nothing else that's blocking that on the inside. And let's check out this bottom drawer. Side dimensions should be the same. Yeah, so 27 5/8 on the internal, and then a little more than 19 on front to back. But height-wise, you're going to get 6 3/4 to 7 inches of height on that bottom drawer. And then this bottom drawer, as we were mentioning, we get dual ball bearing slides. So that's going to hold double the weight. So 200-pound drawer. So all your heavy stuff, your power tools, your ball joint pullers, your pullers, all that type of stuff, or your ball joint press, your pullers, those can go here in the bottom to be the heavy drawer, and you don't have to worry about it. I'm not sure if we ever checked the height here inside the box, and so we'll cover that. Maybe we did. So right at 7 inches. And just to answer some questions, I know a lot of service carts, you know, they will handle your shorter pry bars, no problem at all, your shorter handles, but a lot of you have the longer handle pry bars. And so here's my long handle Craftsman here. Gonna fit in here, no problem at all. And then even a longer handle Milwaukee as well. So those are going to fit in. Top's going to close, no problems. So you have your long handle pry bars. That's not a problem. Still going to fit under lid. You can still lock it up. You don't have to have it hanging off the outside. And something else I was noticing, just the pure sturdiness of this cart. It really is a very stable cart. And I looked at the thickness here on the edges of the actual lid, as well as like you see here. And I can't answer for the complete cart. I know a lot of times they'll use different gauge steel. But I just took my my gauge measure here that I have for welding, and it's definitely not 14 gauge, or actually I think it might be 14 gauge. It's definitely thicker than 16. Obviously 1/8 inch would be kind of your 11 gauge. So it's somewhere between 11 and 14. It's probably 14 since the powder coating is going to take some thickness there. So probably made from 14 gauge steel, but definitely not made from 16. There's a service cart next to this one that we checked, and it's mostly 18 gauge stuff. So, and not knocking any other service cart. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying this thing, you can tell by the weight of it as well as the sturdiness of it. And now that I'm checking with my gauge here, that it's made from some decent gauge. Again, I'm thinking probably 14 gauge steel to build this thing. So aside from just kind of making this your own with different accessories and tools and, you know, shelves and things like that, there's also a couple of tips that you can do. One in particular, when you buy a new box like this, whether it's a US General or not, they're pretty much all about the same when it comes to this. Let me show you. So just about all these tool carts, service carts, toolboxes come with some type of underlayment for the drawers and for the top, as you see here. And most of the time, if not all the time, they're just kind of laid in there, and it's typically a thinner material. And I'm fine with just using this. You may go to something thicker that you really like, that has some grip to it or whatever. But here's my tip. Spend a couple of bucks if you don't already have some general adhesive, some spray adhesive, and glue these things down really quick. You don't have to use a ton. You don't have to get it perfect. Just something. Now, the top here is not going to be as big of an issue as the drawers, but you know, you put stuff in the drawers, you slide them in and out, you slam them, and next thing you know, you come back and everything's kind of wrinkled up and all towards the front, or usually all bunched up at the back, and this thing's all wrinkled and it never lays flat again. Let me just show you how easy this is. And by the way, don't pull it out. Don't pull it out to do this. Leave it in there, and even put something down to kind of hold it in place. Fold it back halfway. You want to spray the metal or the surface, and then spray the liner. And again, that's probably enough. If you want to get real close and get real accurate, you can, but we're just wanting to make it, you know, stick in place. And then you want to let that tack up for a minute or so. And then just kind of lay this back over. Don't let it wrinkle up. You should be able to just kind of let it lay back over, and then you can kind of press it down, and you can get as detailed as you want to. Then I'll come back over. Now that we've done half of it, fold that over. And again, typically I'd let that tack up, but I'm not going to worry about it. Now let's do a drawer. So we'll do the same thing here on the drawer. Open it up. Fold it halfway over. And it's literally that quick. Again, you may want to let it tack up a second or a minute. That's the way spray adhesive is supposed to work. You're supposed to let it tack up, get it good and dry, and then fold it over. But who's got time for that? Anyway, so now, again, that's not going to slide. You can see I'm pushing on that. It's not going to move everywhere. It's going to stick in place even when you got those heavy tools in there, and you're not going to get frustrated. It's not going to get bunched up and wrinkled where you can't use it. There's definitely a lot of reasons why we included this in our Christmas gift guide for this year, which, by the way, if you haven't seen that, you ought to check it out. There's a lot of great tools and gifts in there and gift ideas for you. Anyway, the U.S. General cart kind of surpassed where we thought this was going to be. Again, we've heard about it for a while now. We just hadn't actually had it in the shop to kind of compare it to what we've seen, as well as just to feel the quality of it and see the quality of it. Seriously, a great service cart, full-size service cart from U.S. General, from Harbor Freight. Normal price is $629 on this. We did see when we first listed this in our gift guide that I believe it was somewhere around $100 off. It was $5 something. So keep an eye out for the coupons and for the sales and things like that, because you may be able to get this at closer to $500, or maybe even in the mid fives. But regardless, it's still a great deal, especially compared to the other carts that are out there. Even the half-size 3-drawer and 2-drawer carts, a lot of times are going to cost that or more. And again, the components that this is built with, pretty impressive. And then you can kind of make it your own and add to it as you want to. So be sure to check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and even TikTok. Hey, if you don't mind, would you hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already? And by all means, if you hated our video, then give us a thumbs down. But would you let us know in the comments why? Have a great day. Keep smiling. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.